Hey everybody, and welcome to my scope. My name is DavidSWinston. I'm going to help you become better. So welcome to the replay. Thanks. Today, hey, all right, let's snap you in. Get you positioned here. How you doing today? What's up, everybody? Hope you're doing well. Hope your week is going well. Hey everybody. Hey Jacqueline, how you doing? Hey everybody, thanks for joining me on the scope today. Hey Osazi, what's up, man? How you doing? Hey from Michigan. Hey, how you doing? Hey, what's up? Hey Pastor Jason, how you doing? What's up? It's good to see you. Good to hear from you. Carmela, how you doing? Thanks for jumping on. Thanks for joining today. I appreciate it. Hello from Alabama. Hey, what's up, Williams? Hello from Alabama. All right, good morning, or good afternoon, I should say. Hey, Pastor, how you doing? It's good to see you. Yes, the M conference was amazing. It was amazing. So those of you all who jumped on and who joined and who were able to stream and attend, you know just how amazing it is and how amazing it was. Hey, what's up, Destiny? How you doing? Now, this is what I want to do. I know you guys like these giveaways. I always get rave reviews about this. So this is what I'm going to do. I have another giveaway for you. Okay, you guys ready? All right. So, boom. I don't know if anybody has ever read this book, but this is a great book. It's called The Dream Giver by Bruce Wilkinson Wilkinson, excuse me. And this book is an awesome book. And if you haven't read it before, you need to read it. And I want to give it to you. So those of you all who are on this scope, even if you're on the replay, though the one who gives the most hearts on this scope, I will send you a copy of this book right here, free of charge. It's my gift to you. I just want to bless you with it. So this book, The Dream Giver. So those of you who are on the scope, if you tap the screen, that gives hearts. And so if you are the one who gives the most hearts on this scope, I will send you this book free of charge. It's an awesome book, The Dream Giver. It talks about destiny and purpose and who you're made to be, identity. And so thank you so much for tapping the screen. And whoever gives the most hearts, I'm going to send this to you. And thank you, Tiffany, for inviting followers. Thank you for everybody who is inviting followers. Invite your people, invite your friends. We're going to do this for about 10 minutes, and I'm going to talk about the key to success. Now, what did I say? That this is something that a lot of successful people say was the key to their success, and something that I heard a lot of our speakers say. We just had an M conference, which is called a Missions and Marketplace Conference, and so we just came out of conference last week, and man, it was long. It was a busy week, but it was a great week. It was a great week, and I'm so empowered. I'm so built up. I'm so encouraged. And this is something that all of the speakers seemed to say. They all had a common thread in what was one of the major keys to their success, and they kept encouraging us in the same thing. You want to know what that thing is? One word: identity. Your inner image, who you are. Hey, Natasha, how you doing? What's the word for today? The word for the day is identity, inner image. They kept saying, you have to know who you are and who God has created you to be. You can't be somebody else. You can't pretend to be other people. You can't be a counterfeit. You have to be true to you. Identity is the key. Identity is the key. You'll find a lot of successful people. They will say, people say, well, what's one of the keys to your success? What do you feel like is one of the big things? And they will say one of the biggest things is you have to know that you are valuable. You have to know that you have a high identity. That's right. You find your identity in Christ. You have to know that your inner image is something that needs to be valued, and you have to have a positive, strong inner image to know that you are a winner, you're a champion, you're a victor. There's nothing or no one that can hold you down, regardless of socioeconomic status, regardless of what your skin color looks like, your race, your background, your neighborhood. Nobody can stop you from reaching your destiny but you. And you know what that comes from? That comes from having a strong, positive inner image that says that I'm more than just what my skin says I am. I'm more than just what my bank account says I am. I'm more than just what my degree or my non-degree says I am. Don't try to box me in. You can't put me in a category, because nobody can tell you the inner image that you should have of yourself except God. That's the only one that can say it. Now, if you like what I'm saying, tap the screen. Those of you all who are tapping the screen, if you give the most hearts, I'm going to send you a copy of this book free. My gift to you. And thank you so much for inviting your followers. This is an awesome book. I've actually given it a couple handfuls of these books out to different people over the last several years, and they all come back, all of them, of all different ages and backgrounds, and they all say this is an amazing book. Absolutely. And it talks about the land of the ordinary. It talks about your identity and who you really are. So come on, Tina, here you go. Here's your chance. Here's your chance. So tap, tap, tap the screen. You guys got it. So I want to tell you a little bit of story. And I think you guys might have heard this story before, but if you haven't, and this is the first time, awesome. And if you have heard it before, then just pretend like it's the first time. So the story about the chicken and the eagle, and I hope you guys are having a great day. Thank you for jumping on the scope. Thank you for all the hearts and all the love. I really appreciate you. So the story of the chicken and the eagle. So, you know, my dad tells a story a lot of times, and this story isn't his original story, but when we go to different mission trips, and he tells a story of a chicken and an eagle, and it's so good and so important because when we go on these other trips, a lot of times we encounter people who need work done on their inner image. That their inner image, what your inner image is the way you see yourself, the mental picture that you have of yourself. Thank you for partnering with Faith Ministries Alliance. Thank you. Yeah, we were just in Flint this past weekend doing some work, just doing some good, handing out food and clean water, praying for people. People got saved, and it's great. But yeah, so we're talking about the story of the chicken and the eagle. And you know, the story is interesting because it talks about inner image. And this is how you see yourself. Your inner image is like the mental picture of how you see yourself, completely unfiltered. Now, sometimes that could be positive, right? And so sometimes you can have a good self-image of yourself and say, you know what, I'm better than what they say I am, or no matter what anybody says or does, I can do it. I have an inner image that has been built and founded upon who God says I am. And so, you know, that's strong, that's positive. I'm glad that you'll be back. But sometimes people can have a negative self-image. So check this out. Yeah, mental selfie. I like that. I like that, Natasha. Mental selfie. So check this out. Some people have a negative self-image, and that's like when people look in a mirror and they see somebody who's just fat and overweight. And I don't like the word fat, but that's what they see in themselves. But have you ever met somebody who has an eating disorder, or you know, they have some kind of eating disorder, and it's actually called a mental health disorder. Fluffy. Thank you, Tina. And it's actually called a mental health disorder because it doesn't reflect the truth. And so what happens is they'll see in a mirror, they'll see somebody who's way overweight, and you'll meet them and say, how are you saying you're so overweight? Like, you look like you're underweight. But that's not what they see. But it's not about what's reality. It's about what they see. And when they look in a mirror, how they see themselves is actually filtered through their perception. And so sometimes reality isn't always what's true. You know, I mean, they could be different things. And so your mental image, your mental picture, your mental map of yourself, your mental picture of yourself, that is your inner image. So if you don't have the right inner image, you're going to function the wrong way. Yes. And sometimes reality is not always true. Absolutely. And thank you for tapping the hearts. You're on the book giveaway, so we'll see who has the most hearts. But back to the story, chicken and the eagle. So you have an eagle that was born in a chicken coop. The eagle egg fell down and went down into the chicken coop. And so the eagle was born in the chicken coop, grew up around chickens, saw other chickens, chickens saw him. And so he grew up in this eagle grew up in this chicken coop. And one day another eagle came down and said, hey, what are you doing down here in this chicken coop? Why aren't you out here with us? And he said, well, this is my home. This is where I belong. This is where I was raised. I can't leave. And he was like, yeah, sure you can. Just fly away. And if you know anything about chickens, chickens don't fly. But he was like, nah, Mr. Eagle said, no, I can't fly out of here. We don't fly. And the guy says, what are you talking about? We don't fly. You're an eagle. Yes, you fly just like me. And so he said, okay, well, I'm gonna take you. We're going to fly out of here. And so we get the visitor eagle. He comes, he flies out, and then the other eagle's supposed to follow him, and the other eagle is going, and tries to fly, but can't quite get high enough, and then boom, ends up hitting the gate. And when the eagle hits the gate, he said, man, I told you I couldn't do it. I'm not an eagle. I'm just a chicken. I can't fly. Why are you trying to make me do something that I cannot do? And what happens is, and I know there's different variations of the story, but in this variation of the story, the eagle dies right there with the chickens in the chicken coop because the eagle was convinced that he was just like everybody else around him. And even though reality said, DNA says that that eagle was an eagle, what the mental picture of that eagle, the mental picture, the mental map, the image that the eagle had of himself didn't say he was an eagle. The image that the eagle had of himself was that of a chicken. And what's important about that is that sometimes we can be told a lie. Sometimes we can feed into something that is not the truth about us. Sometimes we can feed into the fact that, hey, because I don't have this education, I won't be able to thrive in this arena. Or because I don't know people, I won't be able to make it in this area. Or because I don't have the finances necessary, they won't respect me or my opinion, they won't hear my voice. Or sometimes we could be forced to think that because I don't have this, or because this isn't in order or isn't in line, I'm not as good as them. And sometimes we could be tricked into trying to believe a lie about ourselves when God has really told us everything about who we're called to be. It says in Genesis chapter 1 that we are made in God's image and in his likeness. And let me tell you what that really means. That means that we were made like God, to function like God, and get the same results that God has gotten. That everything that Jesus could do, we could do also. And so I don't have to worry about trying to please other people. I don't have to worry about what you think about my situation. I don't have to worry about what's in my bank account, whether it be much or whether it be little. But that doesn't determine how I value myself and the mental image that I have of myself. That is independent. Now, I know we all want to increase, right? Come on. We all want to increase. We all want the fat pockets. Nobody says, I want to be poor. But what we have to do is we have to know that you live from the inside out, not from the outside in. What that means is your life will reflect how you feel about yourself inside. And that's really important. I mean, how you feel about yourself on the inside will often determine what's on the outside and how things are going back on the outside. Hey, Destiny. Hey, welcome back. And absolutely, yes, so many are defined by their careers or their wealth. Absolutely. Like you meet somebody new. I'm not talking about in church. Just go wherever you meet somebody new. I guarantee one of the first 3 questions is, what do you do? What is your career? Who are you? Yes, and that's right. 3 John 2, you'll prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. And so, I have a theory about this, that a lot of times people ask what you do because they immediately want to define your worth. Immediately. Even if people aren't trying to do it maliciously, but they immediately want to understand what you do so they can categorize your worth. You work as a janitor over here? Okay, well, you have a category 1 worth. Oh, you're executive at a Fortune 100 company? You're a VP at a Fortune 100 company? Okay, level 5 worth. Immediately. A lot of times, and I'm not saying people do it maliciously, and I know sometimes, we're just gathering information, but a lot of people do it, especially people who do not know Jesus Christ, or especially people who don't know about inner image. And, that's a judgment sometimes that can be very unfair. And so that's why I say, never judge a book by its cover. The old adage says, never judge a book by its cover, because everybody's worthy. Everybody's worth something. Everybody's valuable. Everybody has a skill. And, sometimes when I see people who seem to be down and out in life, maybe sometimes people who other people may be able to judge and say, oh, well, they're nothing. But this is the way I look at them. I look at them as a person with a gift who either doesn't know about their gift, doesn't know how to utilize their gift, or hasn't been put in a position to use their gift. And everybody has a gift. Everybody has something to offer this world that is unique, that is valuable. And I believe that a lot of times people are down and out because they don't understand or maybe don't believe in the gift that has been placed in themselves. But what I'm talking about is your inner image. And your inner image is so important because it will lead you to a place where it can express itself the most. And a lot of times, we were just in Flint, Michigan this past weekend, and thank you so much for the hearts. If you give the most hearts during this scope, once again, you will get this Dream Giver book by Bruce Wilkinson. And this is an awesome book, so I want to give it to you. If you're the person with the top hearts on this scope, you can also share this scope by pressing on the little dude right there. But thank you. That's a great way of thinking. I appreciate that. Yeah, you just got to value people. You got to know that everybody has something special and valuable, even if their life isn't telling you that they're so special or they're so unique or they're so valuable. But once again, we're not ruled by that, because I am aware that I cannot judge the value of somebody else by just looking at them. I can't, because I didn't create them. And I know the Creator God created them. And if I know the Creator God created them, then I know that there is a value in there that is something that I might not be able to see with the natural eyes. But a lot of times I might be able to sense it, or God might speak to me about it. I might be able to encourage them in it. I might be able to find it out maybe some kind of way. And even if I don't, I still know that God has not placed anybody on this earth without a gift that automatically gives them value and means that I should respect who they are. And so we were just in Flint, Michigan, right, this past weekend. Took some of the youth and the youth leaders, and we went down to Flint, Michigan with Dr. Pat Bailey, and we went down there to distribute clean water and is image connected to gifts? I believe it can be, but let me get back to that in just a second, Natasha. Water, food, and all different kind of things. And so we were, doing some good. And so check this out. A lot of the neighborhoods that we rode through they had houses that were boarded up. Some were broken down. Windows busted out of all of them. It's really just some really dilapidated areas, some neighborhoods that were just completely broken down. Thank you, Tiffany, for being so eager to win this book. Something that my dad has taught me, and I thought this is very interesting, is that a lot of times, and I'm not saying this is an absolute, but I'll say for most times and for most people, you'll ride through a neighborhood, and a lot of times the neighborhood, the thing that you can see, is just a reflection of the condition of the people and the heart that you can't see. What does that mean? That a lot of times when you go into neighborhoods that are completely broken down, so are the people. The people are just as broken inside. And it's just a reflection, because it's almost like we are ruled and we make decisions filtered through our inner image. And even when we feel like our inner image is low, it will make us pass on opportunities that God has set up for us. Sometimes God sets up opportunities for us. And I've watched people pass on awesome opportunities simply because they didn't feel worthy enough for that opportunity. And it was set up there. So how do you convince somebody who had an opportunity that was custom designed and set up for them? How do you convince somebody that they should not pass on this, even if they don't feel like they have anything to offer in this opportunity? And so sometimes that's a challenge. But what God says is that we were made in His image and in His likeness. And so we don't have to be broken down, and we can pick up the pieces and clean up the pieces. And the number one thing that I like to do is when I go into an area, especially an area like Flint, we went into one of the houses and we went into one of the houses where they had several people staying. And immediately I just wanted to clean up. There was stuff everywhere, and a lot of it was trash. And I'm certainly not trying to diss people, but this is why I'm saying that, because that condition is just a reflection of what's inside. And sometimes to change what's inside, we need to start changing some of that stuff that's outside. So sometimes if we got knuckleheads that we hanging around with, you got to eliminate those knuckleheads and those haters. If you got trash all around you, clean up the trash. Because let me tell you, if people feel like, that you're a person that allows trash to be around you all the time, then they're going to treat you like trash too. It's just simple as it's put. They're going to act like trash too. And so, I can't tell you how many times that I've seen, people join in on something that they think is acceptable. and you see one person being treated badly, and other people think, oh, it's okay to treat them badly because that's the standard of what they should be allowing, so I'm gonna treat them badly too. But that's not it. And so we're in this household, and I just wanted to clean up. I mean, immediately I wanted to clean up, because I felt like that right there could start to change the mental mindset of the people living in the house. And so sometimes what we need to do is to do maintenance on our inner image. We need to do some cleanup. You have a computer, sometimes it starts running slow, and you just got to start deleting files, getting stuff out, cleaning it up, taking off applications and software that you don't need, because it's trying to weigh you down. It'll try to lag you down, and it'll try to push you back. And so sometimes you just need to clean up that junk. And so you just need to get rid of the people that you don't need. You need to get rid of the stuff you don't need. You need to stop wasting time with the stuff that is not bearing any kind of good fruit. For some of us, once we get rid of all the clutter and start cleaning house, then we can really see what we need to do next. We can see where we need to go. We can see what we need to do. So I don't even know how I got all off on there, but your inner image, how you see yourself, that is very, very important. So thank you so much for the hearts. I appreciate the shares. This book, The Dream Giver by Bruce Wilkinson, I will give this to you if you have the most hearts on this scope. Yes, we are positioned in Christ, so we are in Shalom and Rapha and Shemana and Nisi. Absolutely. So Natasha had a question. Is your gift something about value and your gift? I can't remember what it was. I think you said, is your value like linked to your gift? And I feel like sometimes it can be linked to your gift for sure. Image and gifts. Okay, so is your image linked to your gift? Everybody has a gift in this earth. Everybody has something that God has put in them that they can do. Is your image linked with your gift? I believe it definitely can be. I'll say this. Oftentimes people who don't know they have a gift can be the ones that are most susceptible to having a low self-image, because they feel like they don't have anything to offer. Give you an example. I live here in the Chicago area, and we deal with a lot of young people, especially from the inner city, and it's been no secret about the violence that has gone on in Chicago, in the South Side. And let me tell you, some of those same kids who have those challenges and who are dealing with these challenges, and even some of the people who are the perpetuators of this violence and these challenges, I want to tell you that a lot of them, if you speak to them and you ask them about what they feel like is unique that they have to offer the world, what's their gift, what's that thing, a lot of them by default will just repeat what they've seen somebody else be successful in. And this is what I mean. A lot, and I'm not trying to just be stereotypical, I'm going somewhere. A lot of them will talk about music and they'll talk about sports, because that's what they've seen people in their same arena, with their same skin color, with their same socioeconomic status. That's what they've seen a lot of them be able to aspire to, and maybe make it, maybe not, but they feel like that's their reality. But that is not the gift that each one of them have. God did not place a sports gift or a music gift in a million kids, in the Chicago area, or 500,000 youth and young adults in the Chicago area. That's not all there is. And so there's something else. But a lot of times, once you get past that layer, you get past that initial, well, I just want to be it because I see somebody else doing it, and then I know if I can make it big, I finally got some money in my pocket, I can move us out this area and I can buy mama a house. But once you get past that and say, no, okay, this is not your calling. You tell me about what your true gift is. Then they hesitate. They don't know. It's almost kind of like a deer in headlights. Like, well, I don't think I have one. I don't have anything to offer. And it's like you start to get to a point where they find that they completely have no significance at all. And some of these kids don't even feel like they're going to reach the age of 21. And they feel like they have no significance because they have no gift. They feel like, they're distracted by all the noise. And one of the first things that we try to do is build up that inner image. And I really believe that one of the solutions for all of these issues is if you build up their value and their inner image, their actions are going to be dictated by that value and that self-image. And so, yeah, it comes back to see yourself as God sees you. Absolutely. And so what we do is we try to repair that self-image. And that's the first thing I do. I mean, I go into some of those high schools in the inner city, and that's immediately what I do. And I tell them, absolutely, each one of you all has a gift. You have value. I don't care what they say. I don't care where you live at. I don't care what your neighborhood is like. You have value because you have a God who has placed a gift inside of you. And that's it. No matter what anybody says, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it because nobody else created you. Your mother and father helped get you in this earth, but they didn't create your spirit. And so what's interesting is as you start talking like that, you can see their face change. You can see it. You can see their eyes change. You can see them being introduced to a reality that they never knew existed. Because some of them has never heard that you have a gift. You are unique. You are special. There's nobody else like you, and the world is privileged to have you in it. Some of them don't think like that. So yeah, I do believe that there's a link to identity and gifts. I really do believe that there's a link, and I believe that as they understand who God is and who God has made them, there's a value that increases. They can make better decisions and switch on their new DNA. Absolutely, absolutely. I saw somebody ask a question about me being a doctor. You're welcome, Natasha. Somebody asked a question about me being a doctor. And once again, if you give the most hearts on this scope, I get you this Dream Giver book. I'll send it to you. My gift. And if you're joining the scope, my name is DavidSWinston. I want to help you become better. We're talking about your inner image and how you see yourself. If you don't have the right inner image, you will function the wrong way, guaranteed. What is the right inner image? The image of God, how God says you are, who he says you are, and how you are created. And so you are more than just what the clothes you wear. You are more than just what your bank account says. You are more than what your career status is right now. Do not be ashamed to tell somebody where you're at. Well, I work at this company. I'm doing this right now. Hey, it might not be an executive job, but who cares? Because that is not the limit or extent of your value. Don't let that define your self-image. Hey, it's nice to say, hey, I'm the boss, I'm the CEO. Hey, that's great, but that's not everybody's reality. But I still don't have to let that dictate how I feel about me and how I know the value that I have in me. And so somebody asked me a question about being a doctor. I originally wanted to be a doctor, and I wanted to be a doctor for many years. I was in school, I was young. And I was in college. I was studying to be a doctor, go to biology, pre-med, and then I switched tracks, but I was still pre-med. And then God spoke to my heart. The semester I was supposed to graduate with my bachelor's degree, and God spoke to my heart and called me in a full-time ministry and said to raise up an army for the Lord. And yeah, now you're a soul doctor. That's right. I wanted to be a cardiologist, and I wanted to be a heart surgeon, but God had a plan for me to do spiritual heart surgery. And so that's it. That's what I'm doing right now. How did you know you should go into ministry? I went to an encounter conference at the local church I was going to in Tulsa, Oklahoma at the time, Greenwood Christian Center, now Transformation Church. And I went to that conference, and some things had just kind of not been going right in my life, and I was just kind of at a breaking point. Yeah, I was going to Oral Roberts University, and I was at a breaking point, and I just laid aside all my pride and all my plans and everything that I feel like I wanted to do, and I just cried out to God, just genuinely, completely, right there at the altar. I mean, I was just on my face, and I said, God, I'm tired of not understanding, not knowing. I'm tired of trying to just do it my way. I just need your plan, and I'm completely open to whatever it is. If you wanted me to abandon everything that I've ever thought I would or could do, I will, if you just give me your plan right now, tonight. And I remember God spoke to me in a very, very powerful way. It was just like me speaking to you. I mean, it was almost like an audible voice from the Lord. And he called me into full-time ministry, and he reminded me of a prophecy that I got from Creflo Dollar when I was 17 years old. I don't know if you all know about this. I don't know if I've shared it before, but when I was 17 years old, I went to a service at the UIC Pavilion here in Chicago. It was on one of the college campuses, and they had it in one of the arenas. And I went with my parents, and we sat on the front row, like toward the side. And I remember Dr. Creflo Dollar, he was ministering that night, and he came over to where we were, and he said, Bill, I have a word for your son. And at that point I was like, oh crap, this is not going to be good, because like things were not going right at that point in my life, and like I was in sin, and it just wasn't a good situation. And so, you get nervous sometimes and you feel like God is about to read all of your mail out loud in front of like several thousand people. So I broke into like this heavy sweat, and but it wasn't like that. And God started to share with me through Creflo Dollar. He started to tell me that, and I was 17 years old. He said, I will use you to raise up a holy army for the Lord, to be the repairer of things broken down, and that you don't have to wait till you get old and ripe and ready. I will use you now, even if you let me, and you don't have to worry about filling your dad's shoes, because you have right to his anointing through inheritance. But because of the time, I can't wait till you get old. I have to use you now. And that was like that blew my mind. And when God started speaking to me and calling me into full-time ministry 4 years later, I remembered that prophecy that God has called me to raise up a holy army. And that's exactly what I'm doing right now. And that's exactly what God has placed as a mandate on me. And, that moment in that prophetic word taught me one simple thing. It taught me that a lot of times when we're not doing the right thing, maybe we're in disobedience or we're in sin, it's easy to think, because of our own human nature, it's easy to think that God is ready to yell at us, that he's mad at us, that he's ready to condemn us, that he's ready to rebuke us and tell us how we're not doing the right thing. But it's amazing, in the midst of me not doing the right thing, God spoke into my future and told me about how he sees my future. He told me about how he sees me and where he sees me going, and how he's ready to use me. He didn't come and rebuke me and say, this and that, and you shouldn't be doing this, and I will spit you out. No, he came saying, I have called you to raise up a holy army. And that was just amazing to me. That moment always stands out so much to me, because God is a good father, and a lot of times we run from him when we're not doing the right thing. But he's always ready to speak into our destiny. He's always ready to speak into our lives for the future, for the good. You're doing a fantastic job with the youth. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Continue to keep us in your prayers as we continue to advance. And we're taking good ground. We're starting to break into some of these schools, and now we're in one of the Austin high schools, Austin Polytechnical Institute, and it's great. And let me tell you, Austin's one of the most challenged areas in Chicago. And we're now speaking to some of these schools and some of these students, and we're encouraging them. We're telling them that, hey, there's a plan for their life. Hey, what's up, Big Mike? What's up? God has a plan for their lives. They're special. They're unique. Hey, go get your dream. Don't let this, what you see on the news, hold you back. Because a lot of times that news, that stuff cycles and cycles and cycles and replays. And that stuff can be discouraging for these kids to hear over and over and over again. Imagine if you had some challenges in your block, in your neighborhood, and then you had to turn on the TV every day and hear everybody keep talking about the challenge that you had. And so, yes, I would like to have my youth group connect with you all. Please send us an email. Go to gohardforchrist.com, gohardforchrist.com, and send us an email through the contact us, and we'll get connected up, and we'll do it that way. We have a awesome Freedom Conference coming up this summer with John Gray, KB, Joseph Solomon, Dr. Pat Bailey's going to be back, Todd Delaney's going to be there, I'm going to be there, my wife's going to be there, everybody's going to be there, and it's going to be fun. Thank you, Tiffany, gohardforchrist.com. That's exactly what it is. So, I don't know who's in the lead right now, but I hope it's you. So Dream Giver book, if you have the most hearts on this scope, I'm going to send you this, and I'm excited about you getting this, because it actually talks about being in the land of ordinary, and it talks about the main character. It actually doesn't have specific names. Destiny says she's going to win. It doesn't actually have specific names. It actually has names that represent something. And so the main character, his name is Ordinary, I believe, the main character. So the main character's name is Ordinary. Check that out. So talk about identity and self-image. But let me tell you, you are not ordinary. God has made you special. Hey, I appreciate you guys jumping on the scope. I appreciate you guys tapping the screen and giving all the hearts and all the thanks. I appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Share this with somebody else. I met some of you scopers at the M&M conference, and it was great. So thank you for all the love, and I appreciate you guys sharing with somebody else. Hey, this inner image thing is great. Thank you, Sue. Thank you. This inner image thing is big. It's how you see yourself. So thank you. Yes, Freedom Conference. Freedom Conference is going to be June 17th and 18th. How do we know a winner? I will make sure that I announce a winner tomorrow. So I'm going to give you guys 24 hours and give the replay viewers some time, and then I'll announce the winner. Probably tomorrow I'll announce the winner. So I'll make sure to do a scope and announce the winner real quickly, because I try to contact the winner via Twitter, but sometimes it doesn't always work out that way. So I think the best way for me to announce it is just do a quick 60-second scope and announce who's the winner. So thank you for tapping the screen, and I appreciate it. Yeah, your inner image is important, and if you don't have the right inner image, you're going to function the wrong way. Imagine if you had a dog who tried to function like a fish. That'd be crazy, right? I know that sounds random, right? That'd be crazy. But your inner image is how it's how you live. It's how you get down. I mean, that's how you function. And your inner image is important. That's why God said, first off, in Genesis 1:26, let us make man in our image and in our likeness. And that image is how we function. So just know that you were made to function like God. You were made to use your words to speak and create situations. You were made to rise above. You were made to dream. You were made to dream. Let me say that one more time. You were made to dream. Don't think there's something wrong with you because you keep dreaming higher than everybody around you. You were made to dream, and your dreaming isn't it's not a reflection of what your current condition is. Your dreaming is a reflection of where your spirit wants to go according to who God has made you. So dream, 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 dream. Always dream. And hey, if your dream is small enough for you to do it in your own strength, then you're dreaming too small. Dream big enough to the point where it intimidates you. You say, wow, how can I do that? Then you're in the right area, because you are never meant to accomplish your dreams by yourself. Hey, Betty, you're never meant to accomplish your dreams by yourself, but only with God's help and God's assistance are you supposed to be able to make it happen, because a lot of times the dream is too big for just us to do on our own. But you have to team up with God and have faith and trust in God that He will bring everything to you. He'll bring every resource, every divine connection. He'll open every door. You don't have to pound down those doors. He'll open those doors, and He'll use you. So I give you guys a little bit of insight, those of you all who are faithful and you've been on here for quite a while. So I'm going to give you a little insight on something that sounds crazy. Yeah, we're never meant to accomplish our dreams by ourselves. Amen. Yes, Freedom Conference. I'm glad that you're going, Destiny. So I'm going to tell you this because you guys are my Scope family, okay? So don't hate on me, okay? I'm going to let you have it. I'm going to be transparent with you. So I went with my wife, and this is the last thing I'm going to say. I'm going to jump off the scope. I went with my wife to a Bulls game. Chicago Bulls basketball game, maybe around the holidays, like I think maybe around the New Year's holiday, somewhere in there. And I went with her. She took me to a Bulls game like a good wife, and we were there, and she said something about being Chicago Bulls chaplain, and she just mentioned something. She made a joke or something about it, and I was like, being Chicago Bulls chaplain, that's interesting. And you know what was interesting is it just kind of stuck. And it didn't stick because of, I'm thinking, how I could get paid, or who I can meet, or, who I can know, or, I can go to all these Bulls games. I mean, look, I'm busy. I got enough to do, so I'm not trying to do more stuff. I don't even have time to go to a bunch of Bulls games. I just don't have that. And I'm not a starstruck person. I've just never been that kind of person. So even when I meet very famous people, I've just never been that kind of person. Everybody puts their pants on one leg at a time. They sure need one less injuries. You're right. And so I've always just say, people are people. We're all people, going through different areas of life. And so, but point is, it stuck with me, and I just couldn't shake it. And I mean, 3-4 weeks later, I told my wife, I said, you made that joke, but I don't know. Maybe that's something that God is calling me to. I don't know. And I just kept thinking about it, and it just kind of stuck with you. Has anything ever happened, Cubs chaplain? Has anything ever happened in your life where you feel like a situation spoke to you and it just kind of stuck with you? Like you couldn't shake it. You couldn't like get it off your brain. Like it just kind of kept coming up repeatedly over weeks. And so, I've just been praying that, God, if this is your will, open up the door, and I'm not going to force that door. I don't even know where to begin. I know I did some light research, and I know they do have a chaplain, but I think he's been their chaplain for about 30 years. Is an older pastor of one of the churches here in the Chicago area that I don't know. I don't think we have any relationship with, but it's just something that just kind of stirring. And so I said, I asked my mom to kind of, give me some thoughts and some words of wisdom and insight. And she gave me some things. And so, I'm just kind of praying that God's will is done. So we'll see what happens. But I thought I would give that to you because that's some of that stuff that sounds kind of crazy. Like, well, what makes you qualify? Why do you think you could do it? Who are you? And I thought about it. I said, thank you for standing in agreement. I was like, God, okay, what am I supposed to do? I'm just supposed to pick up the phone and be like, hey guys, I know you're going through, I know you have a chaplain, but I'm here and I'm available. Like, what do? You invite yourself to be like a team's chaplain? Like, come on now. But you just gotta believe that God has a plan and walk through those open doors. And so, we're just gonna believe that God is faithful. But the first step is you gotta believe it. Yes, amen. Come through. You got to believe it. You got to believe that, hey, if this is from God, he's going to make it happen, and it's not too big for me to accept. And if it's too big for me to accept, God, enlarge my mental capacity and my ability to receive. So that's my thing. What is your thing? What is your dream? What has God been speaking to you about that seems kind of crazy, random, out of the blue? How do I do it? How can I make this happen? I can't even tell people about this. Come on, what is your thing? So, so God, he puts those things on my heart, but identity is so key. Inner image is so key. I'm writing a book right now about purpose and destiny and about, your inner image and your personality. And so God has put that on my heart. So I'm writing that right now. And so, there's great things that are going to happen, great things. And so thank you so much. Thank you. Yes. Speaking in schools about self-esteem. Absolutely. Thank you for joining on the scope. I appreciate that. And so we got big things happen. So glad you said this. Thank you, Natasha. God told me about a healing school. That's what's up. That's what's up, Anthony. Okay, that's what's up, man. Yeah, healing school. Absolutely. Come on with it. Whatever it is that God has put on your heart, come on, pursue it, do it, and do it unapologetically. Don't do it like, hey, I got to be qualified first. Hey, don't do it like that. Just go. I mean, hey, Joseph was promoted. Can you be one thing and have another big thing in your heart? I believe you can. I have so much in my heart. I know I'm a pastor, a minister, but there's so many things that I have in my heart. I mean, I have some business things in my heart. And so I believe that it's all in God's timing, though. And Ecclesiastes, the book of Ecclesiastes, talks about, chapter 2 and 3 talks about how important, transitional living for the homeless, that's what's up, talks about how important God's timing is. And so I just want God's timing. I have so much in my heart. I feel like I can live 2 or 3 lifetimes, but it's all in God's timing. And so I want to do the right thing at the right time to get the right results, because never forget this. Any purpose born prematurely is just like a premature baby. It's going to take time, money, energy, attention, and sometimes a little heartache to be able to keep that thing alive. And so you never want to try to birth purpose prematurely, because it takes a lot to try to keep it and keep it and keep it. But if you just wait till full term, wait till it's ready, wait till that thing is ready to come out, then it'll come forth and it'll be healthy and whole, and you'll be happy, and those who are reaping the benefits will be happy. Yes, Ecclesiastes chapter 2 and chapter 3. So I'm ready. So let's go. I appreciate all the hearts. Once again, if you are having the most hearts on this scope, boom, you will get the dream giver, Bruce Wilkinson. So thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for all the tap taps. Thank you for sharing. Share this with somebody else. Mother to the young mothers, I think. Yes, mother to the young mothers. That is big. That is huge. Please, please, please pursue that. I pray that God will continue to open doors for you, give you all the provision you need, give you all the divine relationships you need, give you supernatural favor, because we need good mothers to these other young mothers, especially those who are single moms, especially of multiple children. We need that. We need that. We need that. And so your gift is valuable. I want to let you know that I haven't seen the same thing. God bless you too. Thank you. I haven't seen the same thing twice on here yet. People saying, hey, what they're called to, what their gift is, what their dream is. And remember, everybody's unique. Everything that we've seen is unique. And so thank you so much. Love you guys. I'm about to get out of here. So we'll do it again tomorrow. So thanks.